He
Because you didn't tell him, well, you have to be totally focused or else you're gone. But he came to you and said, well, I'm quitting.
well, I demand that everyone's totally focused and that they step up to the plate and everything. But with Peter, you know, he's been in the band for such a long time.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I can tell him what to do. You know, and with me, I was so kind of absorbed with the whole thing with the band, writing music. Maybe I'm stepping on toes, taking over, you know. But that's just the way I work, you know. And
But
like,
did he tell you things about this? Maybe that stepping toes and...
well, he did send me, gave me a tape of riffs around when we did Deliverance, I think it was. And I was like, listen to it, and I was like, couldn't really find anything that I really liked. But I was really trying to, like, that riff is not too bad. Maybe we should do something with that riff. And I played it to Lopez and Mendes, and they was like, no, it's not good. You're fooling yourself because you want to please him or something. And I ended up not mentioning it to Peter. I didn't say anything that I didn't like it, and he didn't ask. So it just kind of... And we didn't talk about that until after he left. I asked him, were you angry or disappointed by the fact that you wanted to contribute and nothing ended up in a song? And he's like, no, I'm not angry, but I always wondered because you never said anything. And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, I didn't know. And I explained to him, like, I didn't want this to be a band where you're doing favors because you want to be nice to someone and bring in a riff that you don't really like yourself. And he never said anything to me about my songs that I didn't like anything. But since then, obviously, he never came with ideas after that. And he's a little bit of a leader type of guy himself. And he wants to be creative, but he was never really creative with the band for the last 10 years, with the exception of that tape with those riffs on. Maybe 1-2 minutes of riffs. And I guess he must have felt that they don't need me. What the hell am I doing here? He was always a strong, the fans loved him. And we always got along. There was never fights or anything. But he didn't get an outlet for his own creativity, I think.
And maybe when
Not that I wouldn't let him, but I feel I've earned the right to decide what is good enough for the band, musically.
And what did he say about this? That he agreed? That it was more or less your creativity that spurred the band? Or?
Yeah, he agrees. I saw an interview with him lately. I don't know if it's done after he left, but it said that Mikael is such a great songwriter and so much better than me, so I don't really need to, that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that's the case, but I've always been writing the songs, always. And even when me and him wrote together for the first 2 albums, it was more a case of me and him sitting like you and I sitting now, playing guitar, and I was like, can you play this riff? And he's playing something, and I'm playing something on top of it. He rarely came up with ideas. He did come up with his own idea, stuff that he had written back home, but he was relying on writing together with me in order to have some results.
But were you maybe then more the strong figure maybe he needed in his songwriting, maybe too strong, that he really, finally he brought his tape, I don't know. And then he thought, well, it's true, I'm not that good. I don't know. Maybe that damped his
I
creativity.
feel horrible now when I think about it, but it wasn't, it wasn't good enough, if you know what I mean. It was like it sounded like what I thought at the time, like rehashed and not as good ideas from 4 albums back, It wasn't bringing anything new to the table, and it wasn't bringing anything old to the table that was good enough to be used. And it didn't have a clear sense of direction. Like, if I get something, like I slaughter a lot of my own ideas, which I have to understand. I'm not just bringing in all my own ideas and because I want to be the songwriter. I write shitloads of stuff, and a lot of good stuff I end up not using, a lot of it. So if I'm using something that Peter would have written, that I don't really like, I can't be doing favors, be nice to like that, if you know what I mean. And also, because as I said, I was trying to fool myself into using something that he written just so that he would feel part of it, even though I knew inside I didn't like it that much. And on top of things, Mendes and Lopez said, that's not good. That's shit.
That's good from them then.
Yeah. They don't fucking pretend.
Yeah.